And what I was talking about before, besides Mike Portnoy, I've had many other huge inspirations to me. Gene Hoglan is probably one of the biggest ones to me. He's been in almost every single metal band that you can think of. Like from Testament, to Fear Factory, to Dark Angel.
More the underground.
More the underground, but he's like one of the most famous of the underground metal bands. And he's just done everything you can imagine. Especially with Devin Townsend and Strappy Young Lad.
Yeah, I know, you showed me him, and he's one of my favorite drummers.
Yeah.
He's great.
Absolutely. And I guess, like, my biggest inspiration for him is that, I mean, he is a really bigger guy. And I know I am too. But he blows other, like, scrawny, skinny, white trash drummers out of the way by how fast his double bass is, and it just blows my mind.
Oh, he's great.
He is.
He is.
I'll just try to do like a top 5. I already said 3 of them. Richard Christie has been a huge inspiration to me.
Who's he from?
He has been in 2 of my favorite bands of all time, Iced Earth and Death.
Okay,
He got his biggest break was on Death's The Sound of Perseverance, which I recommend to any tech metal drummer out there. The first song, Scavenger of Human Sorrow, will blow your fucking mind when you hear that drum intro. It starts off the album and your eyes just pop out of your head.
Sick.
And then he also did 2 albums from Iced Earth, Horror Show, which is one of my favorites, and also The Glorious Burden, which is another great Iced Earth album. Now he works for the Howard Stern Show doing prank calls.
Oh, yeah.
And he also has a new band called Charred Walls of the Damned, which is very much worth checking out. It's an all-star metal band featuring like Tim Ripper Owens, who's in Judas Priest, and Steve Gorgirio, I know I said his last name wrong, who's been a fill-in bassist for almost every band you can think of.
Nice.
And it's just amazing shit. Check it out. And probably to round out my top 5 biggest inspirations is Jean-Paul Gaster from Clutch.
Oh, really?
The redheaded stepchild of all 5 drummers.
I was going to say, I didn't think he would even, I didn't expect that.
Clutch is one of the biggest inspirations to me on drums.
Oh, yeah.
He just has I can't remember if he uses 2 floor toms. He either has a 4 or 5 piece kit, 1 rack tom bass snare, and either 1 or 2 floor toms. I can't remember offhand right now. But he is the living reincarnation of John Bonham. Like, everything he does is exactly what John Bonham would be doing if he was still alive today.
Really?
And everything he does just hits me right here with what he does.
That's sick.
It's just so cool to see that a drummer be like that nowadays when everything's just about blast beats and double bass and seeing how fast he can go. It's just so cool that a drummer just wants to lay back and groove and just pound the fuck out of him just like Bonham used to.
That's cool. It's cool you said that. That brings me to my next question. What's your opinion on music today compared to music back in the day?
That is a very tough question without trying to get into too much detail. But I will say mainstream music, about 90 to 99.9% sucks balls.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just been so saturated. It's been so watered down. It's just not what it used to be like from even the 50s up to around the time grunge started.
Yeah.
After the time that grunge became not cool anymore, that's when music really started to suck.
I agree, 100%.
Metal, and when you go in a little more underground, like nowadays, like metalcore was cool. I mean, I was a huge part of the metalcore thing, like Killswitch Engage, Lamb of God, all those bands, and I'm still a fan of some of those bands, but that's what spawned off the genre that me and Brian hate most, deathcore.
Oh, yes.
He refers to it as screamo. I call it deathcore because I'm a musical asshole like that, where I have to get everything right. But
all
it's
good.
Just, I hate pig squeals. I hate breakdowns that sound exactly the same, and I hate it when a band cannot be original anymore. And that's what music's become in the mainstream.
Yes.
Underground, there's some of the best music going right now.
I agree. I'll definitely agree.
See, like in the mainstream back from like the 50s to the mid-90s, like I was talking about before, you had to be mainstream because there really wasn't as much of an underground scene, and if there was, you didn't make it. Nowadays, with like the internet and everything, that becoming popular, more of the underground bands can become popular. And that's where I discovered like music outside of music. Music outside of metal is what I meant.
I understand what you said though, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm a huge fan of being a musical asshole again, using these different genres. Like post-rock I became a huge fan of. Progressive metal is my favorite. I would not have discovered them without knowing about the underground scene. Basically like tech metal, death metal, pretty much every genre of metal. And then like all the different indie and rock music. Like George Carlin had a great bit. He wasn't necessarily talking about music, but I agree with it in music. A few winners, a whole lot of losers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's basically how I feel about music compared to today and yesteryear.
Hell yeah. So what do you feel, how do you feel about the direction of Shattered?
I feel Shattered is going in the right place.
Okay.
Because I know you, Brian, you agree with me as much as I do that I don't want Shattered to be just one genre of metal. I want us to primarily be a metal band, of course. I never want to sell out. Yes. I'd rather be a band that stays mid-card but is always around, rather than be the hugest band in the world for 15 minutes and then drop off and never be seen.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah. Because we have, like on this album coming up, we have like technical thrash metal like in Shipwrecked, yet we have like an Opeth-style ballad between two worlds. We got progressive metal in My Crimson Fade, we got power metal in Airstrike. I mean, it's just so great that Shattered is just one of those bands that is willing to try every genre of metal to get it out there to the masses rather than just sticking to one thing.
Well,
keep that creative energy going because, like you, Brian, I mean, you listed your 4 main influences before. For me, pretty much any band I like is an influence to me in a huge way.
True, you got a point there.
Yeah. Because I'm inspired from everything from like post-rock, which is like soundscape rock music, kind of like roller coaster music, to the most technical death metal that you can find.
Oh, yeah.
And everything in between inspires me. And it's so cool.
Yeah, well, the thing, like my thing is, it's, you know, if it sounds good, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's all about.
And in between, real musicians, they say it best. There's only 2 genres of music, good and bad.
Yeah.
And that is very true.
Fucking
Even
right,
though
brother.
I do like to subcategorize, it all comes down to what's good and what's bad.
Yeah, that's true. Now, what directions would you like to see Shattered go in the near future?
Honestly, anything that will not make us repeat ourselves. Like, I never want anyone to say, hey, that's just like Shipwrecked off the last album, or, oh, that's just like My Crimson Fade off the last album. I want every single song to be different and its own style.
Yeah.
I never want to repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
And I try to do that in my drum beats as well. Even though there are parts that do sound alike, like thrash beats, they are similar.
You can only do so many things on a drum set, just like a guitar, though. But they are different. They're different, though. Yeah, they're all different.
Every single one is different, whether it's like how long I do it for, or the fills, or the timing, or anything like that. Everything is different, and I never want to repeat myself.
Definitely. What's your main goal in life? What's your main goal in life?
My main goal in life, particularly involving Shattered, I want to be able to just basically make a living off Shattered. I want to be able to say that I am in a full-time band and I don't need to have an outside job. Like, I can make all my money off playing music and drums.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, I think that's every musician's dream, whether they'll admit it or not, you know.
Oh, absolutely, because you want to be paid for what you do.
Exactly.
I mean, whatever you're best at, you want to make money off of it.
Yeah, why not get paid to do something you love?
Exactly, and that's where a lot of bands kind of take it too far. Like, there are bands out there that are willing to like change on the step of a dime if that means that'll get them an extra $10 million. I don't want to be about that. I just want to be able to get my bills paid. I just want to be able to have a nice, easy living where I don't have to worry about anything anymore.
Yeah, I hear you.
Still have creative control over what I do.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Let's see. If you could, if you had some advice to give to the world, what would that advice be, man?
My advice to the world is if whatever it is that you do, whether it's playing music, working on cars, prostitution, whatever it is, as long as it's legal. I mean, you got to go to Nevada.
Yeah.
But whatever it is that you do, never stop and keep going. Don't let anything ever stop you. Adversity is nothing.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
keep going and do what you do, because you will make it in life.
Amen,
and
brother.
Even though we're not there yet, we will be. And I know this album will do it.
I agree, man. Well, Josh, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And, yeah.